Is that just the wooden part, or has any of the undercarriage or trucks ever been restored either?
No, other than wheel changes and bearings and brake shoes,
Just general
things like that.
maintenance
Yeah,
work on that?
that's my department starts with the wooden part. Another fellow, Jim Rice, takes care of all the underbody and the air brakes and everything.
How did you get your start into restoring coaches like
Mic a
this?
little closer.
Sure.
Uh, Kind of accidentally. I worked for a contractor.
That's how it usually works.
Yeah,
Huh?
I worked for a contractor, and when the railroad started up, we did some odd jobs for him. And as the railroad progressed and developed, we got to doing more coach work, and they
Mm-hmm.
kept purchasing more coaches, and as a result, it became a full-time job.
When you restore them, do you restore them strictly to what the specifications of the manufacturer were, or do you use any modern modifications that might
Yes.
make it more viable for use every day?
Right. We use some 12-ply birch plywood now to reinforce the sides, other than using the bridging that they originally used.
What kind of
Which-
bridging was that?
Well, if you can visualize a covered bridge,
Mm-hmm.
the way the covered bridges are laminated together. But what happens is the wood dries out, contracts and expands, and then the coach becomes loose, and the bolts get loose. And we use the baltic plywood and glue and screw everything. Makes them a lot stronger. And then our siding, our original siding type, goes over top of that then.
Mm-hmm. When you use the wood that's curved, now you have to wet that in order to curve it, correct?
Well, we don't now. We laminate it. Instead of using an 1.5-inch thick piece and putting a bow on it, we use 3 or 4 thinner wafers of wood and glue them together. Put them over a mold, glue them
Okay.
together, and screw them. And once the glue is cured, then you take it off the mold and it holds its shape.
How do you determine when a car needs restored? You said you indicated to me earlier that the moisture starts to work on the wood after a time.
hmm Well, there are signals. You know, if we find a rotted spot on a sill or on the siding appears loose or something we think warrants investigating.
How long have you been? Are you a full-time employee here?
Yes.
How long have you been here?
Full time, about 23 years.
That's a long time.
hmm
Are you strictly involved with the wooden coaches, or do you do any of the metal work?
No, I don't do any of the metal work. Strictly wood.
How do you use the original seats and inside fittings that were in the coach? Do you restore those, or do you build new ones?
It depends. If we're doing an original restoration, we try to copy everything, and we use our Ma and Pa cart we just did over. It's basically original. The exterior siding we copied because it was all rotted. All the seats, all the interior wood and everything we refinished, bleached and refinished.
When you bring a car in like this, and this looks like it's a pretty extent. Is this about as extensive as your jobs get?
Yes.
You completely took the inside of this car apart, and I see there's new fairings on it. How long does it take from start to finish?
Estimate 3 to 4 months for a complete job like this.
And that's with how many people working on it?
4 or 5.
Do you use any of the tools of the era, or do you use strictly modern tools that are at your disposal?
Most of our tools are modern. That's the only way we can get the job done.
Mm-hmm. Well, I would think so. Do you ever do any commission work for any other small railroads around the country, or historic railroads?
Now and again, nothing in a large quantity. We do some contract work for the museum across the street.
Mm-hmm. You say this coach was built in 1908. What's the oldest coach you've ever worked on?
The Maryland, Pennsylvania car, 1895.
Is that here in the?
We finished it recently, yes.
That's fascinating.
Very challenging.
It really is.
Every coach is different and has its own personality. This is one of our open cars. A closed car is a lot more complicated because of your windows.
So this coach won't have any windows in it, even that you can remove. This is a completely open coach.
Completely open, correct.
Does it present any special problems as opposed to the closed coaches, or are they?
Not other than the elements of the weather. the weather attacks them all,
because it attacks this car inside and out, as
Correct.
opposed to mostly on the
Mhm.
outside of a
Well,
closed
this car
coach.
has an epoxy floor on the inside,
What's an epoxy
which,
floor?
well, it's an epoxy resin, and they sprinkle quartz chips in it and keep building that up till it's about 1/8 of an inch thick, and that's as waterproof as you can get.
I noticed there's a lot of nails on this, and there's some fitted pegs too.
Hmm.
Okay, is there any reason why you'd use nails over fitted pegs or fitted pegs over nails at certain places?
Yeah, the pegs are beneficial depending on your mortise and tenons. There again, to modernize and speed up the process,
Mm-hmm.
the glue, screw, and bolting method is a lot faster. And we have other coaches out there that need work almost as bad as this one.
Right.
So,
How about the vibration of the car when it's being used? Do you find it like the pegs that you use, do they handle the vibration any better? Since they do they
well, that's one of the reasons we're modernizing the frame construction with the plywood and the glue, because of the flex of the wood when they're just pegged and nailed.
hmm where do you find your guys to help you restore these cars?
Well, I'm training some young guys right now. I've been here a long time, and I have another fellow here that's has about 15 to 17 years of experience, and I can set him out to a job. And I have an industrial arts major here who's been with me, I guess 3 or 4 years part-time while going to college. And there's another young man who happens to be off today. He's been with me about 6 years part-time. Now he's full-time. So
Do you find that when people get involved with the restoration, they usually stick with it?
hmm
I think it'd be
yeah,
an
this
easy
is a
job to
challenging
fall in love with.
situation.
Yeah. Now, when you start a project like this, is it possible to get any types of the specifications from the factory, or do you have to basically go through and come up with your own blueprint, your own plan as to how you're going to attack the job?
Most of the time, yeah. There are some prints on some of these cars, but it may be just a basic print on the B&M coaches, and then we work from there. A lot of these were fairly intact when we got them, other than being rotted from sitting around the yards.
Where was this particular coach manufactured?
I'm not sure.
Do you know
I'm not
what? Do you
positive.
know who made it?
Boston, Maine.
Boston and Maine.
Hmm.
This is. Did Pullman Company make any wooden coaches as late as the early
I
1900s?
I don't know.
Have you worked on any Pullman coaches?
No.
No. Can you think of anything else that anybody might be interested in that I haven't asked you?
Not really, other than the challenge of researching and
Mm-hmm.
finding out what we should do and how original we should get. Of course, we like to go crazy and dream up some of our own designs too.
Right.
And that's basically what this one is.
Why is this going to
Because
be your own
the-
design?
Well, because of the post configuration. In other words, when we got this car in, we just opened up certain windows and framed it in and made an open car. Now we're designing it, the different size openings and everything, to make it more realistic, to make it better for the passengers.
So this car was
Like-
not originally an open car?
No, it wasn't. It was a coach. And the people, when it's nice weather and sunny like it is today,
Right.
they love the open cars, and that's one of the reasons we need a couple.
So does that present any structural problems as
No.
far as making the coach sound
No,
when you go from a...
no, we just design our frame to make it sound enough,
Mm-hmm.
so the siding and everything is cosmetic. Matter of fact, we're getting another car in tomorrow, one with a steel frame, a Reading car, that we're going to create another open car out of, which was a coach. Because we have one now that's getting bad enough. It's steel and it needs a lot of steel work, so we're going to take this Reading car with a steel frame and design it for a wooden open car. So it'll be steel reinforced.
What's a coach like this weigh when it's finished?
Oh wow, that's a guess.
Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Well, it does kind of, because it would really be an educated guess, because I have no idea what the trucks weigh.
Do you know what your section weighs?
I don't know, maybe 20 ton. And that's only a guess.
Mm-hmm. I noticed you have some lights hanging in it now.
hmm
Probably just to the guys' work. Are the fixtures that you're finally going to put in, are they going to be, are you going to put in regular electric lights for the...
Yeah, we're installing lights with a dimmer system. For a while we were running some evening excursions, special trips, and we kind of like to do that with our open cars on a summer evening.
I was on one last fall.
Were you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're really nice.
Well, this way on a nice moonlit summer night, you can take the open car and we'll have the lights in it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good
Use
idea.
it for an evening trip.
Where are you from originally?
About 5 miles from here.
Where at?
Just about 5 miles south on Main Post Office Road.
Okay. I'm from Lidditz.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I worked for a contractor here in Strassburg for, well, from the time I was 17 until I came here. Excuse me. But I find this very interesting and challenging, so stuck with it.
Who does the final painting of the cars for you?
We do.
You do that?
Yeah, me and the guys do it.
Who decides on the names? I noticed some of the cars around here are some pretty locally imaginative names.
That's, well, they're local area spots.
Mm-hmm.
Named after a farm or a creek, a valley, whatever, you know.
Do you have any input into that?
No, well, as they purchased the cars back, most of these cars were purchased back before, like 1970. The one we just refinished went out. It was purchased in '62. That was a B&M car. And I think there was 3 or 4 purchased in the later '60s. Some were purchased one at a time, and there were others where there were clumps of them for sale. And,
Are you still purchasing cars now?
not at the moment, other than this open car I was telling you about.
Mm-hmm. And how do you find them?
Well, Lynn has some contacts, and he usually comes and lets me know there's one available. We go to look at it, inspect it, see if it's worthy of our...
Make an assessment as to if it's worth restoring or not.
Correct.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
I think that's going to be...
Thank you.
I think that's going to come out pretty well.
These?
Yeah.
No, they'll just
Could you repeat that, please? Get that on tape? Sorry about that.
I wasn't ready for you.
Is the other side a whole long beam?
No, there are splices.
Oh, okay.
There are 2 splices like this one.
Oh, I didn't see any on the other side.
Well, we can go over there and take a look then if you'd like. But we found this one was rotted from here to the west end, so we cut notches out 1.5 inch intervals, and then glued and laminated fur, and screwed it with wood screws. Then tightened up the side to side bolts, hold everything intact until we install our plywood and our siding. Of course, everything's bolted to the bolster and the cross beams. We repeated the same procedure back at that end.
And that's the purpose of these reinforcing boards up
That's
underneath here.
That's correct. Then, on top of the beam, we will sit our 12-ply birch plywood, cut out for our openings, and it will laminate up the posts. Then there will be a sheet of 1/2 inch plywood, which will come from the bottom up to the sill to reinforce this joint. Everything glued and screwed makes everything a solid unit.
How many pieces of wood was it originally? Do you know? Is it?
This,
Yeah.
the main beam,
Yeah.
it's one solid
That
piece.
was
It's
one solid piece.
But as you can see, through contraction and expansion, the grain opens up. 3 pieces glued and screwed with different grain configurations make the beam a lot stronger than one solid piece of wood.
perfect sense.
We can check the other side and see how many splices are over there.
Okay. Let's go look at the other side, John. Just one time.
That's correct. The length of the car is approximately 60 feet, meaning this piece is about 20 and the other piece is about 40 feet long. Spliced once here at the queen post. There again, you can see the cracks, how the grain opens up on the wood. Now this one is basically sound. You may want to take a shot.
You don't foresee any replacement of this main beam?
No, once we have it covered, glued and screwed, reinforced with plywood, and all the new methods we're using to keep the water out, we don't foresee a problem there probably 20 years or so.
What type of new methods do you use to keep the water out?
Copper flashing, rubber roofing, a lot of acrylic latex products. They seem to hold up
There's a lot
better.
of modern roofing techniques.
Right. Yeah, the rubber roof should last approximately 25 years. So the canvas deck cloth we have been using, at best, about 12 years. And then there's a lot of maintenance. You must paint it every year or so to keep the canvas alive.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Where the rubber, you put it on and you're finished with it.
Mm-hmm. You don't have to ever reflash it or anything?
No, not with new copper. We use all copper flashing, and that's
lasts, yeah.
almost ageless.
Are those metal pieces up there?
Pardon?
Are those metal pieces?
Yeah, those are steel bows that reinforce the roof.
And the bows,
They sit on the rafter plate, and they continue all the way across the entire shape of the clear story and sit on the other rafter plate. That's what holds the center of your ceiling up,
okay.
supports your roof weight.
Is there a walkway on the top of this roof?
No, not on the coaches. Most boxcars, cabooses, and the like have walkways, but not the coaches.
You think any other questions, John?
Not right now.
How do you think that little question answered? Well, I think you definitely got enough of a 10-minute blurb.
Is that that?
Yeah.
I said we'll have 1 minute.
You really think so?
There was, I mean, he's like, yes. No.
He got into some detail, pointing things out.
Yeah, that part on the other side, that's maybe 30, 40 seconds worth. You'll see when you see the footage. I mean, there's not a lot. Okay, this ought to about do it.
150,000.